Now at 4, winter storm warnings are posted. Snow will arrive on Saturday. I'll let you know what to expect.
Plus, we've got new details this afternoon after 2 people were killed in a shooting on Thanksgiving.
What family and friends are now sharing about the victims.
And the Circle of Lights is back here in Monument Circle. We'll take you there. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News at 4.
Thanks for inviting us in. It is 4 o'clock. We've got a really cold Friday underway here, but now we are bracing for accumulating snow.
You know, you had me at okay. It was cold, it's clear. We've been seeing all the prep shots all day long, but yeah, you've got some news,
yes, we do.
for us.
Yeah, so the latest is that winter storm warnings have now been posted. We expected that to happen, but really the locations that are under the winter storm warning is going to give you a good idea of who is going to see the biggest impacts. Let's take you there, show you what to expect, and walk you through the timing. There are the winter storm warnings. Essentially includes Indianapolis and locations to the north and to the west. Now, Indianapolis is kind of on the threshold here of just barely reaching that winter storm criteria, but the northern parts of Marion County may see those criteria met. And I'll show you what we're expecting here in just a moment. First, I want to talk about timing. Through the rest of this evening and overnight, I think we're looking pretty good. It is going to be on the colder side. Wind chills will come down a bit. That's good news for those that are going to be out at Circle of Lights, but it's still going to be cold. Snow will arrive sometime mid to late morning tomorrow, although I think really around noon is probably a good time frame for it. And temperatures will be below freezing for the most part. This is all expected to begin as snow. At some point through the afternoon, we'll start to see the amounts, the rates of snow pick up a bit, sometime between, I think, 3 and maybe 6 p.m. But also, you notice some of the warmer air trying to sneak in. This is really going to complicate the forecast, and this will be one of our more difficult snowfall forecasts as this all transitions to rain briefly, because even though we may make it to 40 by the overnight hours, very quickly by Sunday morning, within the span of about 6 hours, we're going to go from near 40 to mid-20s. This is going to be a dramatic drop. That, too, will cause some problems and maybe a little bit of wrap-up snow. So this is what you want to see. Now, I'll show you what it is, and then coming up, I'm going to talk about how we may change this just a little bit. 2 to 4 around Indy, and there may be a pretty steep drop-off. Those numbers may go up substantially the farther north you go. If anything, if I had to change, I would condense this down just a little bit so that the drop-off is much quicker, because there may be some locations that are to the south that are going to see very little snow. I'll talk about that coming up. I'll have the timeline, show you some model output. In the meantime, the bit of good news from this traffic-wise is that things are overall pretty quiet right now. We don't have any major concerns, and at least for crews out there trying to get a handle on this system before it arrives, things are dry, and we're not expecting rain ahead of the system, which means that crews are looking with lower volumes here on the roadways. Traffic is looking good, and they can salt and pre-treat the roads ahead of the snow that's coming through without worry of it washing away. Guys?
All right, Rob, that's very good news. Indy DPW getting ready for Saturday's snow. The storm is coming after they changed their snow removal policy. So under this new plan, connector streets will now start getting plowed when there is 2 inches of snow. DPW also reorganizing streets into 3 tiers: thoroughfares, connectors, and residential roads. Thoroughfares, which are the most major and most traveled roads, are first in line for the snow plows. They're also reminding all drivers to give crews some space while they're out on those roads.
You're out and about and you see our plows, please do give them room to work. These people are working these long shifts in just about one of the heaviest vehicles you can have on the roadway, so please do give them room to work. We want to get them home safely to their loved ones at the end of shift. We want to keep these plows running, obviously, too. You know, running these plows, you know, almost consistently 24 hours a day is hard on the equipment. We need to keep it moving.
Indy DPW says you can also see which streets have already been plowed by using the Snow Force Viewer. We've got a link so you can check it out. It's on WTHR.com.
State police are gearing up for winter weather, issuing a warning for anyone with a car sitting on the side of the road. State police say crews will begin towing abandoned vehicles along the highway tomorrow morning, regardless of how long they've been sitting there. They say cars on the side of the road can be really dangerous, especially when those roads are slick.
Well, this is going to be a huge Friday night downtown. It's going to be packed because of several big events.
Yeah, we got a lot of them. That includes the Circle of Lights, expected to bring thousands of people to Monument Circle, and that you can watch right here on Channel 13. That's where Brandon Schaff is joining us live. Brandon, it's nice out. It's cold, though. Are people starting to show up for the big moment?
Yeah, good afternoon, Allison and Scott. It is nice in the sense that it's not too windy, but it is certainly cold, and people will have to plan ahead when they get out here. Some people starting to fill Monument Circle here for the Circle of Lights, and it is going to be a really great scene out here as they continue to prepare. You're going to see nearly 4,800 light bulbs that will be ready to be lit here. This tradition going back 63 years. And once those light bulbs are lit, a sign that the holidays are back here in the Circle City. You'll see live performances on the stage right there starting at 5 p.m. The live show here on WTHR will begin at 6 p.m. and the lighting of the monument will be at 6:50 p.m. One of several events happening downtown today is the Circle of Lights. The high school state championships happening all day over at Lucas Oil Stadium, including an evening game at 7 p.m. And at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the Pacers are hosting the Wizards at 7:30 p.m. Well, Downtown Indy Alliance says that the Circle of Lights would be a great place to come before tip-off.
It actually makes for the perfect first stop to be able to enjoy this, to be able to see the magic of lighting up the circle for the holidays, and then being able to head on to whatever else their evening may entail.
Now, with so many people expected downtown, Schaefer and IMPD shared the same message to plan ahead and give yourself some extra time to get here. There will be increased police presence throughout Monument Circle and downtown, and police say that drivers should anticipate the traffic delays, asking them to watch out for officers and for all of the people that will be downtown. You certainly will want to plan ahead, and you can look online at downtownindy.org/parking to try to plan ahead and get ready to go. Reporting here in Monument Circle, Brandon Schaff, 13 News. Back to you.
That's going to be good advice because there are going to be so many people downtown. Parking will be very difficult tonight. So thanks so much, Brandon. We'll talk to you coming up in a little bit. You can, of course, watch the streaming show tonight, the Circle of Lights, over on our free streaming app, which is WTHR+.
Starting at 6, we'll have full live coverage of the celebration, counting down to the lighting of the circle.
Well, this afternoon, we are getting new details about the two people who were killed in a Thanksgiving Day shooting on the east side of Indianapolis.
As close friends and family tell our Ashton Hackman, the shooting was shocking for all who knew them.
Courtney Morgan Jr. was the kind of guy who could light up any room. A close friend says everyone knew him as CJ. This is him with his girlfriend, Megan Weakerson. Both were just 36. Friends and family tell 13 News the couple were shot inside their Audubon Road home on Thanksgiving morning. Firefighters responding to a house fire were the ones to find them. CJ died at the scene. Megan died later at the hospital. One of their close friends, still trying to process all of this, didn't want to go on camera, but she told me CJ and Megan had been together for 5 years and had known each other since they were kids. The two had young children, just 1 and 3 years old. Both were home during the shooting, and thankfully both made it out alive. IMPD hasn't named a suspect yet, but investigators tell us they're working with Whitestown Police to see whether a man arrested after a chase on I-65 shortly after the homicide might be connected. Metro Police are still piecing together the double homicide investigation as fire officials are working to confirm the fire investigation. Obviously, anybody with any information are asked to give IMPD or IFD a call. On the east side of Indianapolis, I'm Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Today we are learning the identity of the boy that police say accidentally shot and killed himself. The Marion County coroner says 5-year-old Andreas Woodland died after a shooting on Thanksgiving. Now, IMPD initially told us the boy was 6 before the coroner identified him today. All of this unfolding around 4 yesterday afternoon on the southwest side of Indy. Police say they got a report of a person shot near Kentucky Avenue and High School Road. That's where they found the boy who had been shot. He died at the hospital. IMPD is telling us the boy was apparently staying with family, but his parents were not there when this shooting took place. So far, no criminal charges have been filed in this incident.
Next week, we're going to see a lot going down at the Indiana State House.
Yeah, it's going to be very busy. This is when lawmakers in the House are expected to take up the issue of mid-decade redistricting. Our State House reporter Emily Longnecker joins us today in studio. She's got the story for us.
Hi, folks. Well, let's first talk about what we know is going to happen tomorrow, and that's a call between Indiana House Republicans and House Speaker Mike Johnson, set to happen tomorrow. It comes 2 days before lawmakers will start considering whether Indiana could redraw its congressional districts. Leaders in the House and Senate recently announced they'd take up the issue during the first 2 weeks of December as part of the regular 2026 legislative session. Lawmakers in the House will tackle redistricting first. The following week, it's the Senate's turn to make a decision on whatever the House sends them. And so far, a redistricting bill hasn't been filed, and a proposed map has not been seen by the public, but sources tell me that that is set to happen on Monday. Once it does, the legislative process will then begin, and we know that includes first the bill being assigned to a committee. Then lawmakers on the committee are going to hear testimony from the public, both for and against redrawing these districts. You can expect to see a lot of members of the public at the State House over the next 2 weeks. At this point, we know of at least 2 rallies that are being planned with folks against redistricting.
So much at stake in this particular decision. Next
sure.
couple of weeks are going to be really interesting. Emily, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Still to come on this Black Friday. Despite the growing popularity of online shopping, some stores on this Black Friday still seeing lots of action.
First at 4:30, we hear from some of the people out and about to find out what keeps them coming back year after year.
And we are tracking that snow for your Saturday, especially between noon and 6 p.m. But there are more snow chances in the 7-day forecast. I'll show you coming up.
But first, President Donald Trump threatening an immigration crackdown following a deadly shooting of a National Guard member in Washington, D.C.
We've got the charges that the alleged shooter is now facing. That's next.